finally, I'd just like to say that, you know, this Northern Action Group, I think they've got a few problems looming up if they are able to achieve what they're wanting, because I hope that we give the debt, their proportion of the debt goes with them if they do a seed from the Auckland Council.
Yeah, so there's a very old saying, George, that I think you're referring to there, and that's be very careful you get what you want.
Yeah, and I think Waihiki's the same. So. Yeah.
Okay, now we've got Councillor Cathy. I've got Councillor Cathy, Councillor John Watson, and then Councillor Mike.
And no disrespectful, but I think the recommendation B could be made a bit clearer in plain English. Function optimally means what? In the report, it sets out quite a few areas that we're looking at, and I wondered if those examples could be put into the resolution, because it clears up what we mean by function optimally.
I think the recommendation's a victory for efficiency over detail, perhaps, Councillor. We could add to it, but the essential point here is that the Local Government Commission is very interested in the work we're doing with the 5-6 year review of the governance framework and what fine-tuning might be agreed around this table as a consequence. That's what it's alluding to.
All right, if you weren't to use the words function optimally, what words would you use that makes it a bit clearer?
Optimally function.
Well.
To its best potential.
What I suggest, Councillor Cathy, is post this meeting, have a good talk with Phil, and make sure that those words are writ large in detail. All right, excellent. Councillor John Watson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And from memory, I think the quality of life surveys that used to go out to a number of the councils, Rodney included, I think the confidence in the council's decision making, that was Rodney's, used to hover around about the 20% mark, and from my recollection, it was actually on a downward trajectory. So each council that came in, it dropped down. So I guess I'd make the simple point then that in this area and wider, Rodney too, there, you know, that degree of dissatisfaction has been quite long-standing. And I guess predates the Auckland Council. But nonetheless, I was glad to hear your reference in passing there to the need to do a comprehensive review of the super city. You know, it's been 6 years, you know, 9 years, getting up to a decade. You would hope the government would lead out on that, because I think it is needed. I think we do need to get you know, a sense of what the various parts of Auckland think of how things have gone. Otherwise, you know, you wonder what you make such a significant structural change and there's no actually looking back and seeing how things are going. I just, and if you don't do that, of course, you can't improve, can you?
No, that's right.
And I just reiterate Councillor Casey's point there in terms of the second recommendation B, that, you know, it'd be nice if, it's probably not going to happen, but if there was a little bit of explicit detail, because basically if you read that, it is very jargonised. There's no real sense of anything specific that could come out of that other than, you know, they're working at things. So that's a concern if we were really looking to signal some significant change, and that's certainly something that's coming up a lot more regularly now. So if you're going to meetings, you're getting a lot more questions about, you know, delegated authority to local boards, why aren't, you know, local boards having more say, etc., etc. So I don't think that's going to really allay anyone's concerns. So it'd be nice if there is something specific that is at least out there in some form, albeit not in this resolution, but in general communication.
So I offer you the same encouragement post-meeting. Sit with Phil and make sure that the degree of detail that fleshes out those words are there, John. And look, particularly for the three of you who are former members of the Rodney County Council. District Council, sorry about that. District Council, and now members of this chamber, I think it would be very helpful for you to have your say in that matter. So I'm sure Phil is looking forward to that input. Councillor Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. Very interesting discussion. The Local Government Commission's invitation to everyone to submit alternative options does open a door. And you've talked about a review of the Super City in after 9 years. It may be needed earlier than that. In the private sector, I understand when big corporates merge, after about 5 years, there is an independent post-merger audit to see how it's working out. And obviously, it would be timely soon for something like that to happen with this council. Without belabouring the discussion, I have some sympathy for Councillor Wood's approach. I think we have to agree that Rodney Hyde's baby was not perfect at birth, and it's still not perfect now, and I can't see any logic in people being absolutely defensive about it. We never made it. It was imposed on Auckland without the assent of the people of Auckland, and sooner rather than later, I think it is timely for a review. And I suspect that the Local Government Commission's invitation will actually be opening the door, whether they like it or not, for people to come up with alternative ideas for how the Auckland region is governed. Thank you.
Well, I suspect that's right, and so we'll have 1.6 million new ideas about how we should be governed. Auckland, in its classic way, will respond. You give us the chance, and we will absolutely disagree with each other.
I asked you not to be defensive about Rodney's baby.
Oh, well.
I wasn't being defensive.
Rodney's
I was
baby.
offering an
I don't
opinion.
know. I've helped raise the darn thing. Okay, so I'm the positive dad. Penny.
Just very briefly, Mr Chairman, the reason for C is that I have actually been phoned by some ratepayers groups outside the NAG area who have been contacted by the Local Government Commission to find out what they actually thought of the process, and they actually didn't really know what was going on. So that's really why
I'll get
I'm
that.
giving that to the Chief Executive.
Yeah, look, I mean, clearly it's, and on the basis that the Local Government Commission, after due consideration, felt there was something really to answer to, then obviously it'll become a lot more intense up in and around the Rodney area, and
try
people will
mediation.
absolutely get their view on it.
They did try mediation, the
Yeah.
council needs to know, but there wasn't anything,
Well, they couldn't mediate
they
it,
couldn't
Councillor Penny,
mediate.
because the High Court basically cut that off.
yes, I know, but there wasn't,
Yeah.
anyway,
So despite the best intentions.
thank you.
Right, Phil, you all right?
Yeah, I was just going to inform or remind that this review work is on the agenda for the governing body local board session this
Sava.
afternoon.
That'd be good. Oh, we can raise a
Excellent.
few issues there. Councillor George, you can give them the benefit of your considerable wisdom in this matter. Right, I'll move those recommendations. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
I'm seconding. Against? Note. Thank you. Right, IMSB, item 13, proposed funding agreement 216-217. We have got Phil again, and Alistair. And Rita, welcome. Various recommendations there. It brings to a conclusion the discussions led by our right. We have got Phil. Which one of you two are going to open this up? Phil, or Alistair, or Rita?
We'll get Rita to...
Rita, away you go. Welcome.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good morning, councillors. Through the chair, I think this is fairly straightforward. It's the annual budget for the...
Best wishes and good luck. It's a good start
Thank
so
you.
far. This is the first time you've presented. You've sat normally up this side of the
Yes,
table.
that's true, but
now
to-
you're out there.
To the governing body, Your
I'm
Worship.
sure this is a promotion.
Shall see after this. Mind?
Go Rita, yeah.
All right, so yes, it's fairly straightforward. It's the proposed budget for the funding agreement with the IMSB. The same as in previous years, the political working party established by this governing body considered the proposal and their recommendations are outlined for you. There isn't a large difference from previous year. It's a fairly straightforward proposal with an increase that has been recommended through the LTP, so it's within that budget. And we're happy to answer any questions. Everything else is in the report. I don't know if Phil wants to add something, or some of the working party members might have some commentary on that as well.
Yep, I'm going to lead that off. Phil, is there anything you've got to say, or Alistair?
No, we'll pick it up in questions.
Right, Councillor Penn, yourself as the chair, and then we've got Councillor Bill, Councillor Ross, and Chris, who's away. So, Penn, as chair, anything? No, right. Either of the three? No? Okay. All right, Councillor Chris D.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So look, I just asked a question of the staff last night, and thank you for responding this morning, Rita and Alistair. And I've just checked off this morning, and I think it is agreeable that, but I don't want to put words in the staff mouths, that the budget identify clearly so that the total direct funding as referred to in A be adjusted by the amount of the shared and support services. And I've received an email, and maybe the staff have that matrix, which is courtesy of you, Rita, which shows an extra 397,749, which would take the total direct funding to 3,295,749, which I'm saying should be identified in the budget. So maybe just some feedback on that. Maybe I don't need to move it as an amendment. Maybe it's just adjusted, but I'll just hear from the staff.
Right, Councillor Phil.
Well, Your Worship, I'm very comfortable making it explicit in here.
Right, very good. Councillor Brewer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think this is, I certainly want to acknowledge the working party where this has landed, particularly to note that the overall increase in direct OPEX funding is 2.4%, 2.42%, sitting alongside, if not slightly under, the rates, overall rates increase. I suppose my only question was just to flesh out just an explanation, and someone on the working party, it's not a big dollar amount, but just as to what activity was anticipated with a 50% increase in research, management and monitoring of Maori Plan outcomes. And secondly, I suppose the process of it all, I'm just interested to know why this has come after us having the annual plan debate in finance and then governing body on Friday the 13th, and why it wasn't part of that earlier in the month.
Right, right. Phil, you?
The simple answer to that question, Your Worship, is that it would have otherwise required 2 reports when we felt one would suffice.
Okay. Anything else?
And the second was just that category, research management and Māori Plan.
Research issue?
Your Worship, I'm actually not able to comment on the detail of that particular body of work represented in the
Can
funding
someone come
agreement.
back to Councillor on that issue, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Really, someone should be here. Rena, are you? Brandy should be here.
Yes, no, Councillor, we have received some commentary around the proposed work program, but we don't have the details on that work. My understanding is that there is some work that the IMSV want to conduct on the Māori Plan, and there will be an independent strategy panel that will be conducting that piece of work, but we can certainly try to find out more details.
Can you, for future reference, I know it's late in the play, but just please make sure that when these reports come through, either within the annual plan round, LTP, or in a separate GB like this, that Brandy or someone representing the IMSB is here. Very important. Councillor Cam, the officers will undertake to get you a more detailed answer to that question.
That's fine. I suspect it's part of a 3-year review of the Murray Plan.
Yep.